Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's January 16th, 2020, and a few things to tell you, and some questions. Well, one, let's talk about this real quick. My significant other is now starting to ask questions, about where she lives, okay? And it's no doubt, considering I've been doing this for a number of years now, she's wondering why or whom I'm talking to on the phone. Well, actually, she knows who I'm talking to on the phone, because we're always talking about flat Earth, so she can't not miss that. Anyway, so, why I'm hiding in the bushes sometimes. Talking to somebody at 12 o'clock at night, going on a radio talk show. She's like, you're on a radio talk show? And I'm like, no. I'm actually on Truth Frequency Radio. Okay? It's not my show. It's Mark Sargent's show. I like to give these names to her in references of people to look up. Hopefully she remembers them. But this is what I'm getting at here. I am not going to get into the truth with her. Okay? Just like everybody's got to figure it out for themselves. I will plant seeds in your head so you will have doubt on where you live. For example, okay, they tell us the sun and the moon are two separate objects, all right? They say that the moon is reflecting the sun, okay? So you figure it'd be warmer when you take a little heat gun, but it doesn't. As a matter of fact, if you take what we used to do with when you find an ant farm, take a, one of those magnifying glasses, and you can burn stuff when you're looking at the sun. I mean, when the sun is pointed toward it, and you get that precision, kind of like almost, if you want to call it, ray. But it's the opposite with the moon. If you do that with the moon at night, it actually projects cold. Okay, this is something, now remember that word cold, because I want you to remember something at night in the wintertime here. Okay, we have drastic temperature changes, especially at night. It drops down an extra 10 or 15 degrees. Take out the wind factor, which basically I don't even understand how wind can work if we're revolving 1,000 miles per hour. That's right, the planet, they say, is revolving 1,000 miles per hour. Where is the Coriolis effect? These fucking clouds up here are 35, 40,000 feet high. Where does the Coriolis effect take place? Where? At what altitude? Nobody seems to know, okay? Well, apparently, according to scientists, the minute the bullet leaves the muzzle of the gun, the Coriolis effect should already be taking place. But yet, no sharpshooters take it in effect. The Navy doesn't take it in effect when they're launching rockets off. No, nobody does. The Coriolis effect does not exist, okay? All right? There's a doubt, but we were told it does in school. So when the moon is reflecting the sun, it should be warmer, and it's not. It's colder in the shade. Actually, it's warmer in the shade and colder outside of the shade. Another doubt, okay? Another doubt is, where are the boats going? They're not going over a hump. There's no curvature at all whatsoever. I could zoom in on it in a high telescope or on a nice HD camera, preferably a P1000. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to get one of these things. But I have to manifest it. That's what I haven't been doing that. I really needed to concentrate a little more on that. But anyway, I'll try to manifest one of these cameras by the summertime. That's my goal. Basically, I'm just going to put a couple $100 aside a week. Anyway, look, this is not important. But there is no curvature, okay? Especially with the curvature chart that they give us. There should be a drastic curvature, especially when you get 100 feet. When you get, like a mile out or 2 miles out or 15 miles out, there is a curvature of over hundreds of feet. You shouldn't see anything at all. It's like, well, we don't. It's like, well, then, you see, the atmosphere is the big factor. Okay? On a clear day, when the atmosphere is clear, you can zoom in on these boats no problem. If it's cloudy, if it's foggy, it's going to distort things. Might even turn it upside down, but you still can get the boat. It's still there. Okay? All right? See, it doesn't make any sense, all of the stuff that they told us. So that's why people have to research this. And they've got to come up with their own ideas. You know? Another one that I like to speak about is a lunar eclipse. Very rarely do we ever get to see one around here. We just had one in 2017. I wasn't able to witness the entire thing because I was just right outside that total eclipse factor or whatever they called it. But I got to see a large portion of it. The one before that was in the early 1980s. I think I was in middle school or something like that, and it was a cloudy day, so that took care of that. We still all went outside, but it was cloudy. But I want you to think about something with that, okay? This is why I'm bringing up cold. You could feel a significant drop in the temperature when the solar eclipse happens, almost by 10 degrees. I did, all right? And mine wasn't even a total eclipse, all right? Just as you do with the moon when you take a heat gun to it. All right, it projects cold. Now, my question is, you see with these lunar eclipses, what you're looking at is basically a planetarium. These objects can do whatever the hell they want. They can eclipse themselves. All right, you have to understand that. These objects can eclipse themselves. There's nothing getting in the middle of it. But my question is, why is it the size of the moon is only projecting a shadow on the U.S. during that particular lunar solar eclipse, just like every solar eclipse, that's only 70 miles large? Okay? Test it out. Go walk down a street and look at the lights on the street, and then look at your shadow on the wall. It becomes, it doesn't shrink down, does it? To the size of your hand? No. It gets larger and larger and larger. So what I'm my idea with this is, I think not only is the moon projecting cold, but it's also projecting its shadow in a way too. Think about it. All right, and it's giving it a precision of 70 miles when it shouldn't be that way. With the calculations you get of the moon, should take up the entire Earth. I mean, really, it doesn't make any sense. Or it should be at least 5 or 6 or maybe 10 times larger than that. But it's not. It's only 70 miles across. And that makes sense, because that's what we've been talking about with the sun and the moon, is that they're only 70 or 80 miles across. I said maybe 100, but who knows how big these things are. I was driving on the New York State Thruway today, and there's a flat ground. Well, everything's flat, but anyway, there's this extremely flat ground at a high altitude, and you can see for miles, like I'm thinking maybe 50 or 75 miles you can see. All right, and we just got over a storm yesterday, so we're getting these real clouds, not the chemtrails. All right, puffy little broken up clouds. That's what the sky should look like, and that's what I saw partially for a short period of time. But anyway, my point is, all the way at the end of the horizon, I'm looking at this little chemtrail, this little son of a bitch coming through, just spraying us right there. The sun is right up here, okay? And I'm looking at that plane all the way over there, and then I'm looking at the sun right above me. That looks closer to me than that fucking plane over there, which is probably maybe 100 miles away, maybe 150 miles away. But I could see the little train of chemtrails. I can't see the plane, but I could see the trail getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But don't you see what I'm saying is, when you're looking at this in a certain view at a certain time of day, when the clouds are a certain way, and there's just that layer of clouds, of straight clouds like that, and you can see underneath them, you look, and it just, your perspective looks at this, and it just says all over that we live on a flat ground, that we're covered with a dome, and something just doesn't look right. And that's why every flat earther always say, use your perspective. Okay, that's what you've got to do. You've got to use your own senses that you have inside of you that'll tell you that everything is a fucking lie, and everything is not true, and everything is wrong that they've taught you. And that's just how it is, bottom line. And that's how you become a flat earther, is once you realize all of this, and then you do your research and you understand all of the shit that you've learned in school. Just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. All of this hiding, all of this staging, and that's all. Everybody says life is a stage. Well, it is, because once they figured out the earth is flat, everything was staged after that. Bam! They just locked everything up. Bottom line, that's what they did. They locked everything up. They're not going to let you go down there, okay? They militarize everything. Everything is militarized. You can't go up there. You can't go build a fucking rocket in your basement and go up in the sky and think you think you'd be free up there. You can't do it. Plus, you can't afford to do it because it costs so much fuel to go up there. And they don't even use fuel. They use fucking helium. Oh yeah, sure, you see the fuel come out in the bottom. I'm not saying there's no fuel at all in there, but all of it's fucking helium when they're up there. And then the thing comes rocketing down into the ocean. Pick your choice. Atlantic, Pacific, wherever they're launching it off of, that's where it goes. Some more things I wanted to get into, but all right, I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos, and let me be a part of your life.